All right, let's see what Beto O'Rourke. Wow. Even his name is faggy. Even his name is gay. Yeah, this friggin' gay. Beto O'Rourke. As president, I would absolutely sign slavery reparations bill into law. Yeah, this guy really wants to be president bad. I mean, you can tell he's eminently corruptible because he has no morals. He has no morals at all. Yeah, sure, the sins of the father are the sins of the son. I mean, that is such flawed logic. I mean, I don't think anybody in their right mind, well, minus this dimwit, would say that my father robs a liquor store, I'm responsible for my father's crime. I don't think anybody would ascribe to that. I mean, unless they were a moron. Yet this pinhead is trying to get us to ascribe to this belief, this idea, that because some, and by the way, it wasn't my relatives. I'm a mutt, and we came over after slavery. I think in like 1910 or some shit, at least my father's side. I'm not sure about my mother's side, but I could guarantee you none of them owned slaves. Of course, you could say, well, you don't know about your mother's side, so you don't know. Well, I think they came over after slavery, too. So I don't think any of my ancestors owned slaves, so why should I be in any way, shape, or form responsible for reparations? And by the way, doesn't this sort of kind of, infer that black people are still suffering because of slavery? I mean, isn't pushing this idea doing exactly that? Well, how are they still suffering? I don't get it. Slavery's been over what? 63, 64, oh boy, a long time. 34, 150 years? Jesus Christ. 150 years. Nobody alive has experienced this unless Methuselah's running around and he's black or he was white and owned slaves, right? Unless there's some immortal white dude out there, a black dude out there running around. Nobody has experienced slavery in America. Well, I mean, except for the actual slaves that are still here. It's estimated there's quite a few slaves in America, actually. Mostly from Africana countries, yes, where they have house servants that are really slaves. Amazing. But we whiteys are the evil ones because we own slaves just like everybody else, and there's people in the world right now who actually still own slaves, but apparently we who don't own slaves are somehow the bad guy and need to pay them back. Get the fuck out of here. What about the Muslims? What about the Muslims who are running the transatlantic fucking slave trade, right? They peddled in plenty of fucking African flesh. Nobody's holding them to account. You know why? Because they don't have anything. They're all broke. Yeah, but let's try and make the people who actually have money because they produced wealth. Well, let's try to make them feel guilty, right? Beto O'Rourke. This douchebag, this fucking guy, he's riding around on a fucking stage on a skateboard. That's not even cool, pal. Who rides skateboards anymore? Skateboards were cool in the fucking 70s and shit when I was a kid. Fuck you, fucking skateboarding. When I was a kid, the skateboards were little thin fucking banana wide fucking things. Then they got all fat and long and shit. Now, who's riding skateboards? What is the cool new thing anyway? I don't know. Anyway, he thinks we had a line. Who's going to pay for this? Oh, yeah, because money will solve the problem, right? Yeah, the real problems aren't actually that, black people can't compete on average with white people because on average they're one standard deviation lower IQ-wise. No, it can't be that. Let's drop Pee Wee Herman into the NFL. See how he does. Now we could have a Pee Wee Herman NFL where everybody looks like Pee Wee fucking Herman and is about as strong as Pee Wee Herman. And then those people, they do fine there. But no, I don't think Pee Wee Herman's going to do too well against a 300-pound Hawaiian dude, right? Or black guy. Which is the majority of the NFL, by the way. But we're not allowed to acknowledge that and the differences that exist between races in that arena. So Wednesday, MSNBC played a clip of 2020 presidential primary candidate Beto. I'm not calling him Beto. It's a made-up name. He's a beta male. I'm going to call him Beto. Beto O'Rourke at the Nation Action Network's convention where he was riding around on the motherfucking stage with a skateboard. Or he's walking on tables. What's with this fucking guy in tables? He likes to get up on fucking tables. I thought this fucking guy cared about the working man. Doesn't he know that the working man is going to have to clean that fucking table if nobody cleans it, that somebody's going to have to eat off of that and eat his disgusting, germ-ridden, filthy crap that comes off his shoes? He don't care. O'Rourke was asked if he would sign Sheila Jackson Lee's bill, which would consider reparation proposals for African Americans. You people have been getting reparations for a long fucking time. It's called welfare. The welfare system was primarily created for blacks. Now, it didn't say that outright, okay? But that's who it was made for, okay? You people are getting all this free shit every motherfucking year. Why do you think blacks are having 4, 5, 6 kids? Because they can afford it? Because they work so hard? They're able to compete with whitey? No. They're getting welfare. You've got plenty of reparations already. Now get up off your ass and go get a job. O'Rourke said, yes, civil rights. What a bunch of crap. Civil rights are just a way to disempower the majority and empower the minority. Okay? And then you can use the minority to get rid of the majority or get control of the majority and then get control of the country. It's not in any way, shape, or form about giving these people some kind of rights they didn't prior have. Let me tell you something. Talk to any old black person and they'll tell you that things were much better before the civil rights movement. Okay? Much, much better. Races didn't mix. Black people competed against other black people, not white people. Black people went to their own schools and they could get educated at their level. They didn't have to compete with white people. In comparison, whites were only competing with other white people. You didn't have to dumb the curriculum down to the lowest common denominator. The denominator. Woo! Got a little tongue-tied there. Lip-tied, really. But, yeah. I don't get it. I mean, nobody's ever heard the saying that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. I mean, Jesus Christ. I understand this. I don't understand why people think that it makes sense to give reparations to black people. Civil rights are not just those victories that began at the onset of my comments, but the injustices that have been visited and continue to be visited on people. He means black people. Why don't you pander a little more to him, you pussy? We will never get the change that we need to live up to the promise of this country. What change do you mean? So absolutely, I would sign it into law. Of course you would. You want the black vote. They're not going to vote for you, pinhead. Okay? They're not going to vote for you. This is yet another Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This is just some dude they thought was cool and hip, and, this hipster-looking dude without the testosterone to grow the requisite beard. And he's cool. He can skateboard. Probably somebody from the Justice Democrats found this fucking guy, that Cenk Uyghur. Bacon grease-eating motherfucker. He's cool. He'll make a real good president. There ain't much going on upstairs with that fucking Cenk Uyghur. God, I hate that guy. Fucking idiot. Boy. Yeah. This is probably the latest find of that Chaikot Sacco Bardi, who seems to be running the show now, or there's some other guy behind the scenes who's doing a little more of the logistical work. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. This guy's just like another find. They found him. They had a casting call, right? We need a casting call. We want a president of the United States for 2020. If you think you'd make a good president, show up here at this day and time and we'll interview you. I mean, that's what they did with Ocasio-Cortez, right? I kind of get the feeling that's what they did with this dude, too. Beto. Beta, cuck, wimp, simp, pussy boy. Yeah. I want this guy as president. He thinks, yeah. My dad robbed somebody, and I have to pay back the shit my dad robbed. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, yeah. Collective guilt. I reject the idea of collective guilt. White people are in no way, shape, or form responsible for slavery. Let's get this straight, okay? The only reason that everybody blames white people for everything is because it works, okay? It works to shake us down. It gets money out of our ass, right? That's all it is. I mean, if Muslim people were rich people, the blacks would be shaking them down too, because the fucking Muslims, oh boy, did they run a hell of a lot more slaves and have way more black slaves than American whites did. Oh, baby. By the way, something people seem to forget is that the Muslims not only trafficked in tens and tens and tens of millions of black slaves, but they also abducted and held for ransom and kept many white slaves from the beginning of America to the early 1820s, where the president at the time said, wait a second, we're paying 1/5 of our GDP to these Ottoman Empire pirates who are essentially abducting white people off our ships and putting them into slavery and then ransoming them back to us. We're paying 20% of our fucking GDP. Why doesn't anybody talk? Why doesn't anybody talk about that? Millions. Yeah, and by the way, these white people moaning and groaning about being slaves, more white people probably, but equal number probably. Well, hey, don't knock us, even if it wasn't an equal number. Don't knock us for having the ability to defend ourselves and not being as easy to abduct us into slavery, okay? Don't blame us for that. Don't blame us for inventing the fucking catapult and high stone walls and shit, and making it more difficult for the Muslim scum to come and abduct us into slavery, okay? Don't blame us. It's not our fault that you Africans lived in mud huts and swung around in trees and, yeah, come on. Don't blame us. Don't blame us that your technological advancement wasn't so great as ours, and we were much better off able to defend ourselves against the Muslim slave trading scum. But still, people seem to forget this fact that millions and millions of white people have been slaves as well. And to the same people as have held the most black slaves in history, Muslims, who are still involved in the slave trade. Just go to Libya. Yeah, that wonderful mess that Obama and Hillary made. Go down to Libya. You can buy a black man slave for $300. You got $300? You want a slave? Go down there. But Whitey's the bad guy, and we need to pay reparations. Yeah, you fuck off. Go fuck yourself. I don't need to pay anything, pinheads. Oh, I need my coffee.